Welcome back, and here we have this another method in which we have now factoring difference of two perfect squares. Okay, let me give you an example para dali lang tama ko ano. I think we know this. Like for example, you have here x squared minus y squared. Meaning this is what? Difference of two perfect square. X squared is a perfect square. That's simply x times x. Y squared is a perfect square also. Meaning pag imo siyang i-square root, ang answer kay y, kani kay ang answer pud kay x. Ang factor ana, we know, right, to be simply what? X minus y times x plus y. Or actually, this is what we learned from special products, right? We learned from special products that x minus y times x plus y is simply equal to x squared minus y squared. This is simply just cunning factoring manggod. It's just simply the reverse of the idea of the special product. So kung kabalo ka sa isa, dapat daani ka di na dahin ka mag-listen, okay? General form, of course, of this will not be using a x and y, but we'll be using here na the idea. Okay, mo may general natong symbol here. U squared minus v squared is equal to u minus v times u plus v. So meaning, di na necessarily u ang mga butang da, no? But you can just take a look that, kani, ang imong u, marag mo imong x, ang v kay mo imong y. Simple as that. Now, let's give an example. Here, for example, we have here, 9 minus 81 m squared. So, this one, okay? How do you factor this out? 9 minus 81 m squared. Okay, so the simplest way to do this, to factor this is, so itong first step gi ko learn factoring a common multiple. How do we say unsa may common sa 9 81 o m squared? Will you agree nga ang common nila, this could be actually expressed as 9 minus 9 times 9 times m squared. Okay? Tama ba? Will you agree nga common sila hang 9? Yes, right? So we'll have factor out 9. Kung lagi ka makitaan nga pwede ma-factor, i-factor na nadaan because that will make the expression shorter. So here will 1 minus 9m squared. Okay? Now, can you see that this one is into this form? U squared minus v squared. Halata ba? At first, dili ka, nakamin ka, wala may square ng 1. Then ang 9, wala po na siya square. But you can actually re-express this as what? Ang 1 can just be expressed as 1 squared. Tama ba? Ang 1 squared equal lang ba sa 1? Tama, no? 1 is a very powerful number. If you square that, equal lang yapon sa 1. If you cube that, equal lang yapon sa 1. How about this 9? Well, this could be expressed as minus 9 could be expressed as 3 squared, right? Times m squared. So kanni medyo halata na no nga murag pare-pareho siya no u squared minus v squared. But dili pa jud guys. So let's continue. I'm just copying the 9, di siya part gid sa kwan, but we can if we can factor that out as easy as that. So that's better. So here, how do you reform this? 3 squared times m squared can just be written as ito man siya. Masulat lang siya as 3m squared, right? 3m squared. So now we have that. So what is good in here is nahimo na siyang yung itsura kay mura na og kana siya no u squared minus v squared. Makita nimo ba nga murag mo ni mo u kani mo ni mo ang v kanang 3m mo ni mo ang v, right? So 1 squared minus 3m squared. How did we get this? 3m 3 squared m squared may equal na ba sa 3m squared? Tama ra na no kay kung pareho gali sila og exponent, the base could just be what? Multiplied together, right? So 3m okay, pag distribute nimo sa 2 na, we will have 3 squared times m squared. Ingana raman ba? Okay? So, now we could factor that as, may factor ano, no? Dapat daw u minus v. So, 1 u minus 3m, that's your v, multiplied by u plus b. 1 plus v. v is 3m. Okay? Ingana lang siya. And now, we are happy to present that this is our factor. So, ang pinakauna, kung makaspot gali ka og paano common multiple, ipagawas na nadaan. Okay? Kung dili gali, okay lang gihapon. As you can see, pwede man naman siya diretsoon, right? Because this one could be expressed actually as what? 3 squared minus 9m squared, right? Tama ra ba? O, tama, no? And then you can express this as 3 minus 9m times what? 3 plus 9m. But as you can see, dili ka mo enda na kay nap may common no 3 minus 9 common man na nila ang 3, so you'll have here 3 times 3 minus 1 minus 3m na lang. How about this one? Common po nila no, so napakay pagawas ni mo 3 have 1 plus 3m. Basta constant na gali, imo na ipa-multiply dapat gid ang mga constants. So 3 times 3, that's 9. So pareho lang gyapon mo gabta no. That's 9 times 1 minus 3m times 1 plus 3m. So the best is kung pwede na mo ipagawas na daan, no? Ipagawas na daan sa ang common factor. Kung dili, then no, ayaw po. So ayaw po sa. So I think that's it. So, ingana lang ba? Or let's give more example, okay? Right? Kung ano magamay ra kita yung example. Here we try to give this another example, okay? But for example, we have x squared minus y to the 4th. So nasa pag-factor karon, x squared minus y to the 4th. Halata ba ni siya nga this is in the form x squared minus y squared or u squared minus v squared? Mura mag kanang 4 man, dili man no kay 4 man ang isa. But no, you should not worry about that. X squared, okay lang ni siya. Pero kani mura magdapat man di ba ana man to? U squared minus v squared. Kani ron sa mo to nga dili man ni siya naka-square to the 4th man noon. So you need not worry. Kung mas higher siya, ang best ana is to just to re-express that in terms of, well, if this is y to the 4th, you just express it as what? Y squared squared, right? Yung alam na, di ba? Basta to the 4th, we'll have it y squared squared. Tama, di ba? Dapat lang ang mga exponent kay kanang integer, no? Dili fraction. Yung ang atong gusto. So, bale, this could be now like, this is your u, x, this is your v. Tama ba? Di ba ang kanani, ang factor kay u minus v times u plus v, okay? So here will be what? U, what's u? X. What is v? Y squared. So x minus y squared times u plus v. X plus y squared. So just take note kung unsa imuhang u, unsa imuhang v. Take note dahil no nga dili x squared imuhang u, but x lang. Kay ana man no, u squared. Then dili pod ang imong v kay dili lang y, but y squared, right? Okay? Y squared squared. So that's why we have this. Okay? Okay. Now we still have another one. What if ingon ani? X to the 4th minus y to the 4th. Okay? What if ingon ana? So how do you re-express that? Okay? Kung ingon ang case, you'll re-express that as, well, x squared squared minus y squared squared. Tama ba? So bali ang x squared mo na imong u, panang y squared mo na imong v. So may answer bali ani sa factor? We'll have u minus v, x squared minus y squared times x squared plus y squared. And take note here that you don't end here. Why? Because this one is still what? Difference of two squares, right? Kani wala na kay pag-asa diri kay wala man ka ng sum of two squares, but naman ka ng difference. What are the factor of this? Will you agree nga ang factor ana will be simply as x minus y times x plus y. Okay, you just simply copy the rest of the factor, x squared plus y squared. So therefore, this one is simply, kani, equal lang siya, no? Tulo ka bukihang factor, bali, x minus y times x plus y times x squared plus y squared. Yung na lang ang idea, and I think that makes life interesting. Thank you.